All right, everyone, going to be jumping into all the top prop bets here for Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. Also worth calling out that you should be getting some sort of profit boost on Underdog as well. Make sure to be taking advantage of that today. Let's go ahead and get on into today's best bets. All right, guys, so we are going to be looking at just the general board that we have today. Going to be starting out with NBA, though. What we're going to notice is that the first bet that we have is going to be Josh Hart to get under his assists here of 5. This one has a 55% edge, so a decent chance for this one to either be a push or to hit for us. This is a bet that I'm fine going out of my way to target, at least in terms of like Taco Tuesday prop bets, where, again, the typical strategy that I like to tell people to do, especially for like maybe general people, just like the average person, do the Taco Tuesday slip 5 times individually. And I say that every single week, but if you have $25 allotted to you guys per taco, do 5 separate individual 2-slip bets. That's going to reward you guys in the long term. That is going to give you guys basically free money each and every week. And so one of the best bets that we have is going to be Josh Hart to get under his rebounds. Sorry, assists. But rebounds is not terrible as well, the under 8.5 rebounds, but his assist of 5 here. We're going to notice the last 2 games against Toronto and Detroit, only 3 in those games, is a little bit hit or miss there, but that is seemingly a good bet for us here. Then we have another one that's pulling up on here as a good bet. That's going to be KCP to get under his fantasy score here on PrizePicks. We see the average PrizePicks line has it set at 22, where the average sportsbook line has it set at 20.75, which is right on par with what the projection data is seeing here as well. Now, the thing with KCP is we know that he is someone that can get can get blocks and steals, which really does elevate his ability to get his over fantasy score. He's not someone that's traditionally scoring that much. If you look at his role with Franz Wagner and also Banchero off the court, it doesn't really expand that much. And so I get why the under fantasy score is the favorite here, especially in terms of looking at his average fantasy score, where, again, it doesn't really rise that much. The line that we're currently getting is a little bit higher than his average. And so, yes, I get why the under is being favorited here. I'm kind of okay with it. It's not going to be a bet that, or it's going to be a bet that we are probably going to be sweating here. So not a lot I can load by any means, but it is one of the best bets that we currently have on the board. So might as well go ahead and target that. And then while we're here, one of my favorite bets is actually going to be looking at Goga to get over his fantasy score of 28. This is more a points per minute type thing. He is someone that, with those 2 players off the court for the Magic, Wagner and also Banchero, he does get a big benefit. And as long as he is getting the minutes, he should be able to get this over. So last game against Phoenix, we saw those 2 players out. He was able to get 31 minutes in that game. Thus, he was able to go out and have a great game. Now, the one concern that I have here is going to be this matchup with the Bucks. Okay, the matchup with the Bucks is one in which he could easily get into foul trouble, and then he just won't get enough minutes to be able to get this over. But assuming that he's able to stay out of foul trouble, I do like the over of 28 for his fantasy score. Now, it's worth calling out that the data doesn't necessarily agree with me there. They are more saying that this is a push here at 28 for his fantasy score. So another bet that you could potentially do is his over PRA. If you're like me and do like the fantasy score over, that does kind of coincide there. You can bet either one of those. And then I do think it's still worth calling out, guys. We have not gotten any Cole Anthony prop bets just yet. I do think they are going to undervalue him just in terms of his minutes that he's going to get. Thus, they're going to undervalue his point total. But we might not even get a line because of that, because they think it's too high variance of a line for him, where if he does get the minutes, he's going to easily be able to crush whatever line they kind of put out there. We look at the points that he had last game, again, with those 2 players out for Orlando. 14 points, got a lot of minutes. We saw him have that similar role last year for them as well in similar situations. So maybe they're just not going to give us that line. I was thinking on the NBA preview video that I posted yesterday night, that he'd probably be the player that we'd get the biggest edge on. We still haven't gotten that, unfortunately. And a lot of the bets from that video yesterday evening have all been bumped in our favor, but a little bit annoying there. And then so we continue on here. We're getting Trae Young as a good EV bet over 2.5 3-pointers made. If you look at his per game average lately, not that good. Maybe that's a sign that's supposed to spike. Don't really have a feeling either way. We look at Jalen Williams and his assist here of 4.5. It's okay. I would be favoring the over here as well. This is supposed to be a pretty high scoring game and a close game there against Dallas. So I'd be fine with that one. Don't need to go crazy with it though. Dame Lillard under his fantasy score is okay. We are seeing Giannis under his fantasy score, guys. Look at this. The average Vegas line here would be 52 if we round up. And so that means the PrizePicks line of 54 is definitely a little bit too high. It is a low game total. It's a game in which the Bucks could easily end up blowing out the Magic. I kind of expect that. I mentioned last night I like betting the over of 6.5 points. The Bucks to win by more than 6.5 points. It is now up to 7.2. That's more on par with how I see it. But if that happens, they don't get their typical minutes, then yeah, I could see the unders hitting where they get 28 minutes instead of 36. Let's go ahead real quickly and check out some college basketball bets because we are getting two. So we got one where the over fantasy score is seemingly going to be a good bet here. The average sportsbook line would have it closer to 40.2. Now the projection data does differ there. That's a big difference between the average sportsbook line and the PrizePicks line that we were getting. Typically speaking, when it comes to fantasy scores like this, I do want to see what Underdog is telling us to bet here because that'll give us a proper idea of which data is the outlier. Is PrizePicks the outlier data point here, or is the average sportsbook line the outlier data point coming in here? So if we have time, I might wait to bet this one to see if we get any Underdog fantasy score lines, but we're not right now. We are seeing Chris Bell for under his rebounds. That's a good EV bet right now, under 3.5. Don't like the fact that the projection data is telling us to bet the over. Same thing here. Worth calling out Dylan Harper as well. This is one where we do look at the average sportsbook line, likes the over. The projection data also agreeing with the over here, so not a terrible bet there for Dylan Harper as well. So, not as loaded as a board as we've had in some Tuesdays in the past. It's a decent board, but right now, not too many elite prop bets. We'll see how the day progresses, but I'm going to go ahead and get into the bet of the day right now here for you guys. But first, I want to remind you guys of the promo code that's currently going on the 9 to 5 website. Use promo code Keep Cash and get your first month at $8 a month instead of $10 a month. So take advantage of that, guys. Great deal. All right, so we jump on into the 9 to 5 PrizePicks bet of the day here for Taco Tuesday. And again, the strategy for Taco Tuesday is we want to be betting whatever you guys view as the top 5 bets 5 times individually. If you have that typical $25 allotted to you, if you have $5, if you guys are limited, I just typically say do a 6-slip bet. In the long term, that's going to work out a little bit more frequently. Anyways, got a lot of EV bets that we're currently hitting here, and so we just need Vegas to be correct. Pure EV bets as well with Trae Young over his 3-pointers made, Josh Hart under his assists, and then Chris Bell under his rebounds. Those are all decent. Again, I like Goga. Point per minute wise, he should be able to get the over there, assuming he doesn't get into foul trouble. I wish that the projection data agreed with this over bet here, but kind of is what it is. That's the board that we have. And then KCP, one of the better bets that we have on today's board here of under his 22 for his fantasy score. Probably going to be a tight sweat. But again, if the game is a blowout, hopefully, right? I'm kind of hoping this game is a blowout, then his under fantasy score is a decent bet as well there. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Taco Tuesday video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. That does help out a bunch. Good luck with all your bets tonight. That's all. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.